thumbs up. Y'all are all muted. That's fine. Listen, why we got people sign. Somebody's echoing. Okay, I think they just fixed it. Oh, it's because they were connecting right there. Okay, listen, why we got a few more people signing on. I'm gonna start with a joke. Are y'all ready? This is a Texas joke. What kind of doctor is Dr. Pepper? He's a physician. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, that's all the Dr. Pepper fans. Oh, we got a thumbs down. Okay. All right. I guess you just kind of keep that. You can't really minimize that. Okay. No. All right, well, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know you guys' time is extremely valuable, and I've actually got a board meeting here in an hour, but I don't see any reasons why we're not going to cover everything that I need to let you guys know about, on top of covering any questions that you may have. The first thing is we're now going to Guatemala instead. That's the first thing to let you know. I'm just seeing if y'all are paying attention. Now we're is that Nathan up there adjusting the volume like, wait, Guatemala? No, we're going to Nicaragua. It seems like every time we try to go to Nicaragua, something comes up for the last several years. But we are going back to Nicaragua. We're excited about that. Let me just kind of hit up some of you guys sent some questions when I had my meeting with Steve Selby. So let me just kind of hit up the critical ones. That's going to change quite a bit. First of all, our flight is going to be leaving. We have two flights, actually. We're flying out as two separate groups on that July 13th, but both of them are violently early in the morning. So what we're going to do is, this doesn't really have to do as much with Pastor Nate and Dustin's church since they're close. But since we're leaving so early for those churches out in East Texas, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys come in and we're going to stay the night here at the church that 12th of July. So that Wednesday service, that if you guys have a Wednesday mid service, if you guys could be here instead so we can get a good night's sleep, and we will have transportation here from the church to get us to the airport. So if you have a volunteer willing to take a van, take, cars, however you guys are going to do it, coming out from East Texas, drop them off. Or if you guys have some vehicles where you guys just want to keep them at the church, that way you don't have to pay a parking at the airport for 10 days. That'll be nice. So however you want to do that, try to come in that Wednesday. We'll have dinner. We'll talk about the trip, maybe weigh some suitcases and whatever, and try to get a good night's sleep early, since we're leaving so early in the morning that Thursday. I could tell you the times, but they're probably going to change. As I said, we got two different groups. One group, we're going to have to be at the airport at 3 a.m. The other group has to be there a little bit after that. So as I said, that's why I'd rather you guys stay here with us than try to organize leaving East Texas, driving out here. Anything can happen. Construction can happen. There could be an accident. There could be anything on the road whatsoever. And now you guys have missed your flight, and it will just throw everything off. Pastor Nate, you guys are close enough where I think you guys could just head on down from Sherman and meet us at the airport. If you're willing to join our little lock-in here the night before, you're more than welcome to. Dustin, you're just right down the road from me, so you're good. But that's the first thing that we're gonna have to try to organize. I guess the first thing is, any questions about that, especially from churches there in East Texas? Okay, so here's the plan also. This year, officially, we're the only team going to Nicaragua this year. All the other teams are all going to El Salvador across the country. Steve Selby is trying to get Castle rolling back in Nicaragua, but due to COVID, due to a lot of different things, it was just easier to get started back up in El Salvador than it has been in Nicaragua. So he's extremely ecstatic that we're coming. I mean, he's going out of his mind. He's so excited. And there'll probably gonna be some interns and other people coming over, possibly from El Salvador, since we don't have any interns in Nicaragua this summer. And we have no idea what's going on there. But here's the big thing. Normally, every team that every time we ever gone to El Salvador, Nicaragua, we always go off campus. We always go somewhere to the east or to the north in Esteli or Palaguina or something. This year, Steve said, I really need to kind of get things rolling again at the main place. So we're going to be ministering around the city of Managua this time. And we will be coming back to the castle every night, which is going to be fun. It's going to be cool. It's a great place. It's very different than El Salvador for those who haven't been. It's awesome. They got Monica there, so they got their little monkey too that you can go see and everything. But it's definitely different and not as glamorous as El Salvador. It doesn't have the pool, doesn't have the little swing. It's just, it is what it is. But there is going to be mattresses there for us. So for those people coming out from East Texas, I recommend that you still bring your inflatable mattresses because we're going to use them here at the church. When we leave that morning to go to the airport, we'll just leave our air mattresses here because we will not need them on the trip. And after you guys get out of the airport, because we're just a few minutes down the road from the airport, it's not really out of the way at all for when you guys go back. So when you guys get back from the airport, we'll swing by the church. You could grab your mattresses and whatever else, maybe a day bag if you just had something simple. And then you guys could take that back with you. But we do not need to pack any air mattresses at all this year. That is going to give us like another, I don't know, at least another 5-8 pounds of weight, depending on how much your mattress weighs. We still gonna need blankets. You're gonna still need sheets. You'll still need to bring a sleeping bag or something. And like always, I highly recommend you just donated it when you're done. If you don't have anything like that, you can go down to CCA or a thrift store, buy a comforter, go home and wash it, use it for the week and leave it there. But because they can always use sheets, they can always use blankets. Sometimes they have pillows, but I wouldn't bank on it. So you may want to bring your own pillow, or if you have a small one, you could tie it to your your day bag or backpack, or whatever you're going to bring into the airport. So that's kind of the accommodations for that. Is there any questions about that? That's very different than what we've probably ever done, but it's great. It gives us more space.
What
Yes.
size sheets?
These are all twins. Good question. They're all twins. So if you want to bring some sheets and you know you're going to just leave them, that would be great. Okay. As far as candy goes, Steve said you could bring it if you want, but to be honest, we kind of have our own candy that we get here. But if you want to bring a bag of candy, some Dum Dum Pops and all that stuff, that's fine. But it's not as required as some of the other things I'm going to let you guys know about. The Gatorade is the big one. Trying to find those big cans of Gatorade that we use every single day on the bus is impossible down there. They don't have it. So every single person needs to bring a 5-can of Gatorade, not just the boys, not just the girls. I know it's kind of different in the sheets that I gave you guys, but if everybody could bring one, that would be great. And since we don't have to bring a mattress, we should easily have room for one of those. Peanut butter, he said, if you want to bring it, that's fine. We could always use it. So maybe if just the boys or just the girls could bring some peanut butter, that'll be fine. Or at least one for every 2 people. I know there's a lot of families going, if like every other person brought one, that would be fine. Make sure you pack it in your suitcase though. Do not, oh, wait a minute, did you start recording it?
Yeah. Okay,
good. Thanks, Audrey. That's what you always remember everything I forget. The dance videos. He said that they are working on it and that hopefully we're going to get a link for that where we could practice it. I said, Steve, you have no idea. I'm the person who is the last person to remember these things. The day we leave is the day I remember the dances. It's just the way it is. So last year we had a little bit of practice beforehand. And because of that, I was actually able to learn it somewhat, but the skits and everything. So he said they are working on it. And so he'll hopefully have that as soon as possible. One of you guys asked about if there's a specific ministry need that they have that we could meet. And he says, yes, here are the things that are most critical and the hardest to get there. So if all of you bring all these, that's completely fine. We can just overload them with everything. Clown makeup is extremely hard to get. So bring as much of that as you want and they'll use it all. If you have a nice clown outfit, then you may want to bring it and donate it. They will have some there, but sometimes they rip, sometimes they tear, sometimes they just get completely wore out. So anyhow, face painting is another big deal, separate than clown painting. The girls and the guys, actually, they like having their face painted. So that could be a great thing to interact with the kids. Balloons is a big hit. One of the things that we had last year when we went to El Salvador, I mean, it was a massive hit. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know if we brought it or what, but it was a balloon machine, or not a balloon, a bubble machine. So if you guys have some of those, man, the clowns were kicking that thing off and just shooting them everywhere, and they just loved it. So bubble machine be great. They also said that, listen, we could always use portable Fender sound systems and all those things. So if your church wants to get together and fund one of those, that's fine. So if you're wanting to spend several $100s, I don't know if that is something that we need to talk to Steve about as far as giving them the money and then purchasing it down there. Because if we had to pay for that and ship it down as well, it could be kind of crazy. So if that's something that God puts on you, that's cool. But he said we can always use extra things. He goes, if your church has microphones that are good and usable, but they're just laying around the church and you're never using them, he said we could always use extra mics and some cables and stuff like that. So maybe you guys can ask your senior pastor or your sound guy saying, hey, do we have any mics just laying around here? Like, they're good mics, but we just literally never use them. If so, let's maybe we could donate it. The COVID policies that Nicaragua currently has right now is not anything that we should be concerned about, but Steve is watching it very closely. They're supposed to lift all of the restrictions, including in Nicaragua, this week, actually, which means that you're not going to need to have a PCR test, or you're not going to need to have a showing that you've had your vaccination card. That was the policy going in not too long ago. So that's something that should be lifted. So you never know what's going to happen. If COVID taught us one thing, you never know what the next day is going to have. But as of right now, some of you guys have expressed interest in that or questions about it. But that's what we got so far with that. Somebody else also asked if there's some kind of, if he has any kind of missionary 1 or 2 minute little video clips that can be played during the services to help promote Nicaragua and everything. And he said that he's working on it. But right now it's been kind of hard. Steve Sobey, he's been itinerating. He's going from church to church and church, trying to raise his support, raise his money. But on top of that, his dad or father-in-law, Don Triplett, has put him over a lot of things that are still going on back in Central America. So he is on the phone all the time. He's on the email all the time. So if you email Steve and he gets back in about 5 days to a week, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm giving him a lot of leniency. Sometimes we get frustrated and people don't return our calls or our emails. I'm just telling you that he's really swamped. So that's, don't be disappointed if for some reason he doesn't reply to something. If you got a question about anything, you could always hit me up, and I'll probably know the answer already. Maybe just something we haven't talked about. Any questions so far? We've covered quite a bit of stuff already. Okay, great. That's the per diem stuff. Background clearance. I'm kind of going through my notes because some of the stuff he talked about, he's just talking about relaunching King's Castle in the United States and what that's kind of looking like, which is pretty interesting because, you know, we always think about King's Castle being international, but he was out actually in California trying to redo it, and some of the leadership, it's changed and stuff. So it's just, I don't know, I got notes about stuff that's not important. So I'm just kind of skipping through some of that. Okay, aside from the stuff that he mentioned, as far as things to bring, like, you know, the clown paint and the face paint and everything, they can still use anything and everything that we can use for the outreaches. Last year we brought a bunch of stickers. We actually found a bunch of little ones with little crosses and little verses and everything like that at Dollar Tree for like $1, just sheets of them. So my daughter, she got a whole bunch of those. Stickers are really good. Any kind of little toy from like McDonald's or something like that, or I mean, anything really small is the best way to go. But that's kind of that. Okay, any questions so far? I don't know. I always have trouble with these meetings because I could just talk and ramble on about Nicaragua forever, but I want to make sure you guys get the stuff that you really need to know.
Do you know if there's gonna be Wi-Fi there?
Great question. So when we went last time in 2016, they did have a Wi-Fi there. It will be accessible, but then again, it depends on if it's working or up that day. I know that they do rely on it, so hopefully they'll have it. I don't know if they're going to be as picky about it as they were in El Salvador. This last year when they went, they only gave it to about 3 or 4 people, and just because they didn't want to have everybody on it. So since we're the only team there, that may not be a problem. We'll just kind of have to see. But that's a great question. I know that they've had it in the past, and I always try to get on at least once a day, post a picture of doing our ministry, just so all the parents and everybody kind of knows that everybody's doing great, everybody's fine. If we don't have access there, sometimes when we go into gas stations or next to a gas station, their Wi-Fi is normally extremely dependable. And while everybody's getting some snacks, I say, oh, they got a Wi-Fi here, and I'll just post a picture and there you go. But I wouldn't bank on it because anything could happen. There is power there in the buildings where we're at, so you'll be able to charge your stuff that you need. I brought it up before about a cell phone. You don't really need a phone at all. You don't need to have service. You don't need to have any of that stuff. We're going to have an emergency phone on the bus in case we need to contact the castle if anything goes wrong. So I bring my phone, but I put it in airplane mode the whole time, and I just use it for pictures and videos outside of the occasional post when I'm in a gas station or something, because I want to kind of be part of the experience, not being on the phone, talking back to who knows who you need to talk to, because you need to kind of be in the moment. You don't want to spend a whole bunch of money ministering down there and you're too busy wrapped up in conversations back home. You're not making a good use of your time, I believe. Plus, I mean, even if you're on the bus, I mean, that's a good time to interact and get to talk to people and fellowship and minister and get to know somebody. I mean, you're going to spend a lot of time on the bus anyway. You might as well get to know the person next to you and switch it up. Talk to some other people, talk to the missionaries, talk to the interns. And yeah, it's a good question. Okay, is there any other questions? Just raise your hand or hit me up. Yeah, Christina.
Are we planning on still bringing soccer balls? Do we need to plan for that?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually going to order off for some soccer balls tomorrow. So for those who are over your church, if you are like, hey, I like to save on some shipping, then Pastor Nate, Justin, if you guys are wanting some soccer balls, let me know. I'll order them here, and then I'll just come deliver a batch to your church, or we'll meet up at that restaurant like we did last time, Pastor Nate. That was fun. For those out in East Texas, Myra, Christina, you guys want to hook up and maybe get some soccer balls, and that would be great. Because whatever we don't use, we're just going to give to them, and they're going to use for whatever program. So if every person could pack, 2 or 3 soccer balls at least in their bag, obviously flat, deflated, whatever. Bring some pumps and prepare to leave the pumps because they break all the time. Bring some needles, all that stuff. But yes, they definitely need soccer balls still. We're gonna plan on bringing a bunch of those and some Frisbees. They seem to like those two things a lot. Other questions?
Tommy, can you send a link like where you buy the soccer balls, and do you buy them on Amazon?
Last time, I think Amazon gave me the best deal. I've been to soccer.com. I basically just check about 3 or 4 soccer sites, and Amazon normally comes in the best, but I could tell you, I could definitely send you the link of the ones I'm gonna order, because the ones I got last time were really, really good, and I don't even think they were $4 a ball. They might have been $3 a ball.
If you could send the link and I'll just have it shipped
Yeah.
here, that's great.
Yeah, and the ones we used last year, well, I actually got one right here, I'll show you. Did Audie give you guys another Dr. Pepper joke? So these are the ones we used last year, and I liked them because they're really bright and colorful. They got red, orange, yellow. I mean, they just pop out and stuff like that. So I don't know. I liked them.
Yeah, when you're ready to order, if you'll just shoot me the link and I'll get them for us.
You know what? That's another idea. And see, that's why Audie's here. Audie's here for all the good ideas. I just kind of start the idea, then Audie finishes it. That's how we roll. She said, why don't we I could just order all of them, and however many that you guys are wanting to get, you guys could just get here when you guys come on July the 12th. And you guys could just put them in your bag then. We don't even have to ship them out. You don't have to reorder them. So see, all of you guys always ripping on Audie. She actually has good ideas. You just got to listen. Got another question? Oh, yeah, definitely want to bring a towel. So that kind of goes into our fun day. First of all, you need a towel for sure, because there will be showers there. I don't know how hot the water is going to be. It was hot last time we were there. So you want to obviously take a shower that night, and because you're going to be running around all day sweating it up. But you also, here's our fun day. Steve said that we're kind of limited on what we could do for our fun day, because in years past, there's all kinds of zip lining, and you can like explore an active volcano and all this other stuff. But a lot of those places that ran their business all got shut down during COVID. A lot of them did. So they're trying to get the relationship they have with that resort that they use down there for the teams that stay in Managua. He said, that's where I really want the team to go, if that's okay with you. And I said, well, I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem taking a fun day at the resort like we've had in the past. So that's what we're gonna be doing for our fun day. We're just gonna be kicked back, relaxing. There's hammocks everywhere. The food will be provided while we're there. More than likely, since we're gonna be in Managua, we'll be able to go through the market that day, so you guys can go look through and find all your little trinkets and stuff like that you guys want to bring back. Don't forget to bring stuff for mom and dad. For you students who are going, they help pay for this thing. You got to show them that you love them. You got to bring them something, a hammock, a t-shirt, something. But here's kind of the schedule to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Again, July 12th, that's when the East Texas is going to be camping out here at VLC. We're going to be leaving early that morning on the 13th. So July 13th is going to be essentially just a travel day. Both planes are going through Miami. So we're going to be arriving, it looks to like a little bit before or a little after lunch, depending on which flight you're on. So it's going to work out great. Basically, the first group's going to arrive there, and they're going to get on a bus, and they're going to be heading back. But that group may not be the group that is going to be on the bus when we're doing ministry. We're just trying to get everybody to the castle as far as the way that they have the flights split. So I'll be going through that, and I'll let you guys know what it is. And if you're like, I want dibs on the later flight, it won't make a difference, because they're both really early. So one's early and one's a little earlier. That's the difference. Yes, question. Who had one?
Do we need to buy mosquito netting for our sleeping bags?
No, because we're not gonna be outside sleeping. We're actually gonna be inside. I don't know, it's kind of like a dorm. I mean, it's its own building. It's got power, it's got fans. It doesn't have air conditioning. There is not air conditioning anywhere outside of maybe their office there. But there's no air conditioning anywhere in Nicaragua. Don't expect it. But it gets nice and cool at night, so it'll be. We're not gonna be in the mountains like we have in the past. For those of you who are like, I've been before, and when we went to Esteli and Palagüina and all that other stuff, that's a little bit more inland and a little bit more up in the mountains. We're gonna be more, not as bad as the coast where you first arrive in the airport, because when you get off, it's as hot as it's ever gonna be, pretty much. But it still will get nice and cool at night. So anyhow, the 13th is just gonna be a travel day. We're all gonna get there, and then just they're probably gonna have something special, orientation, just kind of relaxing, just that's that kind of day. On the 14th of July, that is gonna be our training day. For those of you who, if we get the videos in time, then we'll have something. But if not, then that'll be our full day where we're gonna be training. And because we're not going off somewhere to Esteli or something, we're gonna have all day to train. So it'll be plenty of time. Where even Myra's gonna get all the dances, right, Myra? So we're gonna be, so that leaves the ministry time on the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. Those are all just gonna be ministry days. And you'll notice that this year is 2 days later, or 2 more days than what we had in El Salvador. Because I think what we realize is while we're there, you know, you realize that you got a little bit more energy. You might be tired, but you got a little more energy to do a little bit more ministry time, because the big expenses are the airfare to get down there, and then you got food, and your per diem each day is like $75 or something. So that's why we always try to stay as many days as we can. And it seems like 10 days is a good time, where by then everybody's exhausted. So the 21st of July, that'll be our fun day where we just relax. We've been working hard the last several days. So we're just gonna go to that resort, go to the straw market or whatever you call it. And then I'm sure there'll be some special ceremony that night. I know what they've done in the past. I'm not gonna tell you what they do, because even in El Salvador, they changed the ceremonies from the last time. So it's just gonna be great. You're gonna love it. And then, of course, we come back on the 22nd. We all come back on the same plane on the 22nd. That day, our flight leaves at 12 o'clock, which means we'll probably have an early breakfast and probably still be leaving probably around 7 o'clock, because they want us to get there early. Getting out of Managua, it's a little more difficult than getting out of the United States. So it just takes a little bit more time. So, and since we'll have the whole group of 34 of us, then it's gonna take a little bit. Yeah, there is going to be, in Miami, there's a short layover both going to and from. But the good news is the layover for all of them are less than 2 hours, but a little bit more than an hour. So if for some reason a plane gets a little delayed, we shouldn't be missing a connecting flight. But we're not just sitting around for 6-7 hours either. So yeah, that's why we have like the whole day to do that. We are going to be getting in late on the 22nd. Not crazy late, it's 9:10. So by the time we get in, and 9:10, and I mean, obviously that's when it lands. You got to go through the customs, you got to go through all that stuff. And then for those out in East Texas, you'll swing by the church here, grab your mattresses and whatever else that you have, and head on back. So yeah, you guys are gonna be getting back super late. For those driving all the way out to East Texas, it'll definitely be after midnight, probably closer to 1-2 in the morning. So I'm already anticipating a long night. So I got somebody preaching for me Sunday morning. So I don't have to worry about turning that around. So some of you guys who have to do that, you may want to have somebody come in that day to help you out. I know you have somebody helping you out on the 16th anyway, but it's up to you. Any questions? No questions? Are y'all excited? You ready to go? Okay. We just already, okay. I saw the jazz hands. Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, that's everything I got. That's all the information. Everything else that talks about Nicaragua is all in that packet that I gave you guys already. It has all the information. I haven't dissected down exactly how much clothes you really need. I know that's one of the big variables. I'll just kind of, I think I might have brought up this, but I'll run through it real quick since we got a little extra time. So normally for me, I wear a pair of pants down there just for convenience sake. It's not comfortable, but it's convenient. And I put the other pair of jeans, guys, in my backpack. And I also put my underwear in my backpack because I'm like, if I have a pair of jeans and my underwear, I could make it through the week no matter what I lose in my suitcase. I'll just get by. So that's kind of what I do. Ladies, you're gonna probably want to bring, I don't know, 3-4 skirts. You need to have your, I don't know, they're probably not called biker shorts, under shorts or whatever. You want to have those under your skirts. And as far as t-shirts go, you're wearing them for most of the days, you're wearing a ministry shirt, and then you go back to the camp and you have to take that off so they can wash it. And then you're gonna be wearing the one that you're gonna be using for the next day. So you can change right into that and just wear it that night, or just change into a sleep shirt right then. When you get back, take a shower, put on the sleep shirt, and then, yeah, that makes sense. So anyhow, and then in the morning, take off your sleep shirt, put on the new ministry shirt. So there's two. So while they're washing one, you're wearing the other one. That's during the week, but they will not wash your clothes. Don't give them your thinking they're going to wash your underwear and your pants and your skirts and everything else. All they wash is your t-shirts. So you can kind of do the math on, you know, it's like, okay, well, I got the fun day here. I'm gonna need this, and I'm gonna have this as my sleeve shirt. And you guys can just kind of do the math yourself, but you don't need to overpack. If you're like, oh my, in other words, if you're bringing 15 t-shirts, you're bringing too much unless you plan on leaving them there to give to the bus driver, the missionaries there. They love all that stuff. And again, I would encourage your students and let them know, and your parents know, that anything that you can leave there, they will use. It doesn't matter what it is. They will they will use everything. Last year, I even left my big suitcase because I left everything in there. I didn't even need that anymore. And they use that for moving toys and candy around, you know, from the bus instead of those big trash bags that just rip. So anyhow, I mean, anything, just kind of think outside the box. But remember, your suitcase can only be 50 pounds. If it's over 50 pounds, you're going to get penalized. So the smart thing to do is weigh your suitcase. And if you have access to 2 different scales, that's even better. That Wednesday night, I'll have 2 different scales here. And whichever one it says the heaviest, we're going to say that's the one that's true. But I try not to make anything over 47 pounds, just because yours says 47 pounds, the one at the airport might be a little off. So you just don't want to get hit with a penalty fee for no reason. And it's pretty hefty a lot of the times. So, but you can't bring your Gatorade, unfortunately, and you can't bring your peanut butter in your backpack. You have to put that in your suitcase. So right there is going to be 8-10 pounds right there. Makes sense. But I go into detail about all that stuff on that handout that I gave you as far as what you need to bring. So if you go through and you got any questions, just let me know. But you guys can read, so I'm not going to print it out and read it to you. But any questions about that or anything else?
Shabby, will they be taking up like an offering for, well, any offerings like for?
Yes, excellent question.
Or-
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, they will be taking an offering. They'll be taking an offering for the ministry. So if you want to talk to your church and say, we would like to bring this offering down with us for the Sobeys, for Castle and Nicaragua, for whatever, that would be great. For those who went to El Salvador this last year, they had the little cards with the little QR code that went right to an account where you can pay. They may have that option there as well. I wouldn't just anticipate on just thinking that, oh, well, I'll just use my card and they'll have it. So if you want to get together with your church and you want to bring a check down ahead of time, that would be great. If you want to just bring down cash and get it to them, that's fine. I know everybody's gonna be bringing some cash. They're gonna hope to go by the grocery stores and get some munchies when we go to the gas station. Sometimes, just to let you know, there's times we go to the gas station, like, we need to get gas and we need to go right now. And you're just like, dude, I really need an ice cream cone right now. Well, you're not gonna get one then, because it could be that we're going to a school or something and they have a schedule. So don't anticipate that we're just gonna go to the gas station 2 or 3 times a day. It may or may not happen. So yeah, you want to think about that, bring some snacks, bring some stuff that you want, but you're gonna have a bunch of cash is my point, and anything that you have left over you're not gonna use, then yeah, just leave it with them. The only other food you're gonna need outside of your fun day when we go, and then by the way, we'll be doing the offering after the fun day that final night. So the only other thing you're gonna need money for is food at the airport. So, you know, if you have a way to just use a card and do that, you should be fine. Great question, Myra. I'm glad you brought that up, because I hate it when people are ready for that kind of stuff and they just didn't know I could give. But yes, absolutely, there's gonna be a chance for you to give, for sure. Audie, am I missing anything?
Got a question.
Yes.
On the notebooks that we got last year that
Yes.
you gave at the airport, is there any way to, are we getting those this year?
I could get those to you for sure, because Chris Jarnigan, when we had our AIM training day here, like a month or two ago, whenever it was, he had those and he handed them out. So who is that asking?
Bodecker, Alicia.
Alicia, okay. Okay, I will talk to Chris about shipping some of those out to all of you. Because I know Dustin's group was here because it was just down the road. So we'll send some up to you, Myra. We'll send some out to Nathan. We'll send them to all the groups. Excellent. Yeah.
Javi, I have a question about, I know when we're ministering, we wear long dresses, skirts, but as far as at the campground, what is the expectation for how we dress?
Yeah, good question. So when you're in the campground itself, or when you're at the resort, you're welcome to wear t-shirt and shorts. That's absolutely fine. Again, you're gonna be kind of in the confines of that, so that's not a problem whatsoever. You can even wear a t-shirt and shorts on the plane, and when you arrive, you'll just look like an out-of-towner for sure. Of course, we'll probably look like that anyway. But to be honest, I always tell our group, I said, listen, go ahead and wear a t-shirt. They'll normally wear sometimes an old Castle shirt or something, and go ahead and just wear your skirts. You're gonna be wearing them for 10 days anyway, might as well get used to it. And for the guys to do the same with their jeans or their khakis. But they don't have to do that when we're out ministering as Castle. So yeah, when you're training day, wear some shorts and a t-shirt. It's nice, and you know, it's nice and comfortable and sure. And wear some shorts and t-shirt at night, that'll be great as well. So good question.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
There is any fee that we gotta pay at the airport, Nicaragua airport? Like,
Is there a fee to pay?
yeah, like a visa to buy or something? No.
Yeah, there is a, and that price changes. Sometimes it's $10, sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 15, but there's a tourist card we have to purchase. And so, yes, each person, when I find out exactly how much that is, I'll let you guys know, but it'll be somewhere between $12 and $15 that each student has to have. And I always tell them, bring exact change. Don't go up there with a $20 bill and expect for them to have change. You're probably just going to lose your money. So when I find out exactly what that is, I'll let you guys all know. But that's a great question.
Okay. Thank you.
So Alejandro, he's going to pay for everybody's tourist cards. You heard it here first. So
All right.
As a matter of fact, while I got you on the horn, Alejandro and Steven, I think, are the only two where I don't have their AOR form. Everybody else has turned that in. So if you don't have that or know what I'm talking about, let me know, and I will send that to you, because it's the only two documents I don't have yet. And Chris really needs that, because we're gonna be matching the passports with the tickets like very soon if he hasn't done it already. So that would be
Yes,
excellent. All righty, any other questions? Again, y'all can ask me whatever you want. The only dumb question is the one not asked. That's what the teachers always said, right?
I'm gonna ask for somebody else. I had some people asking me questions about our documentation when we get there. Do you still collect all of our passports and those things and keep those with you?
Yes, they collect all the passports, they keep them all together. Just in case if we're not going across the border or anything, but sometimes they'll have stops, and I've never seen one yet, but they always carry it and they're all together. So that way it's just nice and organized. They see it, it's never a problem. So yeah, they'll collect all that. And some people in the past have been a little apprehensive, like, I gotta have my passport on me the whole time. And I'm like, I've been here several times and there's never been an issue. If they're losing one, they're losing them all. And if they do lose them all, for some reason, we have copies of all of them that we keep on hand, and we could always go down to the embassy and get that taken care of if a catastrophe hit. But that's just not going to happen. And I just tell you, it just won't happen. But good question, yes.
Chabi, are you recording this
Yep,
for?
I'm recording it right now, because I was asked to do it in case some people couldn't make it. They wanted to have the info. And so yeah, I'm going to post this on my YouTube, and I'll send you guys the link when I get it uploaded, so you guys could send that to whomever, and I'll probably keep it out there for a couple weeks before I take it down.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. But the biggest help I could tell you guys, because everything I gave you was basically the updated of what I didn't know when I talked to Steve. Everything else you really need to know about that trip is on, again, on that thing I gave you, where especially as the 2 pages where everything you need to pack and why you need to pack it and everything. It's very similar to El Salvador. For those, I know we got half the people going on this trip have been on a castle trip in the past, which helps out a lot, because you guys got an expectation of what it's going to be like. But the culture is the biggest thing. It's very different. It's a lot poorer. So, I mean, you might have saw some bad conditions in El Salvador. You did not. It will be much, much poorer this time. And same program, same Jesus. So it's going to be okay. All right. Any other questions? Nope. Well, thank you guys for getting on. We're probably not going to have another meeting because everything, unless there's a major shift or a major change, then I'll let all the leaders from all the churches know so they can let everybody else know. But that's pretty much it. You guys got all the information. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And again, you guys all have my cell. If you ever need anything, just shoot me a text. I'll talk to the East Texas group pretty soon, and we'll work out a little bit more about that July 12th as far as what that day looks like and everything. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Thank you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.